The Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network, in conjunction with 5 City TV and the Great Plains Athletic Conference, presents Prairie Wolves football. Today is a Great Plains Athletic Conference contest featuring the Red Raiders of Northwestern College and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Prairie Wolves. This game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. It's your electricity, own it. Union Bank, you belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University. Now let's take you out to Able Stadium.
Another spectacular day for GPAC football here in Lincoln as the Northwestern Red Raiders come into town to take on the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Moats along with Lucas Moorman here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network. 4th game of the season for the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves, the 3rd time that they'll face a ranked opponent. You go back to week 1, they faced Tabor College down in Kansas and lost in a shutout down there. Tabor now the 3rd team overall in NAIA. And then 2 weeks ago here at Able Stadium, it was Morningside that came to town. Then number 3, they're now number 1, and they're rolling. Last week they took on Briarcliff up in Yankton, South Dakota. And now this week they've got the Northwestern Red Raiders here in town. They come in here number 16. And this is a matchup that a year ago, Lucas, it was homecoming up at Northwestern where Nebraska Wesleyan pulled off the big upset 22-8 for the first time in 13 meetings.
That's right, and it's always been a competitive series, Jeff. Within 7 to 10 points the last 13 meetings. But last year, it was a steady diet of Dustin Bryant and the rushing attack for Nebraska Wesleyan. They went up there, imposed their will, kept Northwestern off the scoreboard until late in the game. They're going to have to get that running game going again today if they want to have a chance against this solid Northwestern defense, but always a competitive series with the Red Raiders and the Prairie Wolves.
I mentioned here that they got a win last week at Briarcliff, Nebraska Wesleyan winning 38-28. How important is that first win of the season? For more about that, we bring on our 3rd member of the broadcast team today, Corey Ross, for more details. Corey?
Yes, last week these guys came away with the victory, and that's what a win is. A win is exactly what that is. It's a W. These guys are excited. What's more impressive is the way they won. They came in the 4th quarter last week and won and scored 21 points. So 21 points in the 4th quarter gives you confidence, gives you motivation to come out today and start fast. So look for Nebraska Wesleyan to come out firing on all cylinders.
All right, Corey, thank you very much. And when we look at all the keys to the game today here, Lucas, there's a lot of things that come to mind for Nebraska Wesleyan, especially on offense. First and foremost, the passing game. That's been the bread and butter so far. Back-to-back games of 100 receiving yards for Connor Zumpf, hooking up with Tyler Francis last week in that game, especially with Briarcliff. Tyler Francis, on the other hand, 30 pass completions. That's a school record. He now ranks 5th all-time in school history for pass completions.
Yeah, but they're going to have to do a little bit more than just pass the ball. They got to get their running game going, and right now they're dead last in the NAIA. 27.3 yards per contest as a team rushing. They got to find a way to get some positive games in the rushing department. Defensively, they got to step up. They have to step up against somewhat subpar offense if you're judging against the other offenses they face. The number 1 offense in the nation, Morningside. Northwestern comes in averaging just under 300 yards per game, so look for the defense to have a solid performance this afternoon.
When you talk about the defense, how about that Northwestern defense? 3rd overall in NAIA. They only allowed 233 yards a game from their opponents. That's quite an outstanding stat to keep in mind.
Yeah, 9 returners on this defense, so that's a solid defense that Nebraska Wesleyan is going up against. Offensively, though, they are a balanced attack. They have only 17 yards difference in total yards between passing and rushing this season. They do have some inexperience at quarterback, a sophomore making just his 3rd start in Bruinsma, but they have a 2-headed backfield. They have a fullback and a I-back that'll get equal carries and are both very dangerous. The upset alert is what they got to keep out of their mind. They have to shut down Nebraska Wesleyan early. They can't let the Prairie Wolves get on the board quickly as they did against Morningside, or that upset from last year might creep into the mind, so they have to shut the door early.
One other thing I want to throw out, too, Nebraska Wesleyan offensively ranks 73rd, so the Prairie Wolves, again, need to step up not only the running game, but keep that passing game intact. When we look at the key players today, we mentioned Tyler Francis, 30th pass completion last week against Briarcliff, a school record, 5th all-time passing-wise in terms of completions. We talk about Connor Zumpf. He leads the GPAC with 19 receptions this season. And the other guy to keep an eye on defense for Nebraska Wesleyan is linebacker Vandenberg.
Yeah, he had 32 tackles on the season, leads the GPAC in tackling. For Northwestern on the other side of things, offensively they have some inexperience at quarterback, but they have a senior wide receiver in Ben Green who leads the team in receptions, has 3 catches for a touchdown already. Defensively, couple guys to watch. DeYoung on the defensive line already has 3.5 sacks on the year, has forced a couple fumbles, all GPAC performer from last season. And then Hegstad from his linebacker position, he's kind of the anchor of this Northwestern defense that, like I said, returns 9 guys and is really stout, number 3 in the nation.
Should be interesting. This is always an interesting matchup. Every single year these two teams get together. It's Northwestern ranked 16th in the country against the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves. The kickoff is just around the corner on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Oh, hi there. Sorry, couldn't see you at first. I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and it's first Filter Friday, so I'm just checking my furnace filter here. Looks like it's about time for a clean one, which I just happen to have right here. You know, a small investment today can really reduce your heating costs and improve your efficiency. You can really see the savings. For more tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We will see you next time.
You should pick Wesleyan because
it's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
I always paid attention to fashion when I was growing up. And it's just fun to see it go from sketch pad all the way to actually being on shelves. Shoulder is a scarf with a pocket that you can store all of your basic necessities in. I think it's pretty amazing how quickly the company's grown. Union Bank has believed in me from day one. They have moved mountains for me to bring my product to life. The opportunity with Shoulder has led me all over the country. I love what I do.
Back at Able Stadium, Jeff Moats, Lucas Moorman, Corey Ross, our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew with you from high atop Able Stadium as we get ready for a matchup here this afternoon. The Prairie Wolves trying to even things up here with their record. They're 1-2 as we take a look at the current conditions. Sunny and 81, southeast breeze coming in at 15 miles per hour. That could impact the kicking game as both these teams at some point will head toward the south goal post. So 81 degrees, not bad for a late September day in Lincoln. We'll take this anytime because it could be a lot worse toward this time of the year, and especially the month of October.
Yeah, no doubt. Weather has been on the side of the Prairie Wolves all year and last season. Had great weather all the time. So another great day out here. Northwestern won the toss. They deferred. They will kick off. Nebraska Wesleyan says, we'll take the ball. We'll get after it offensively to start things off after a big week last week from Tyler Francis.
30 pass completions. He now ranks 5th all-time for pass completions at 305. Here is the opening kick. And it's going to be picked up and all the way out to the near side. And spinning out of bounds, finally thrown out of bounds on the return was Ryan Schneider, the sophomore from Raymond Central. Kickoff return man for Nebraska Wesleyan, and the Prairie Wolves will have it here to begin at their own 32. There you see the offensive line. Vollier over there, Westfall, Smith among those. Then you see the receivers, Earhart, Clausen, Larson, and Zumpf is the guy that Tyler Francis likes to look to. There's Tyler Francis, the quarterback from Lincoln Northeast, Lovell from Yuma, Colorado, and Joey Jones from Papillion in that backfield for the Prairie Wolves. So this will be a 1st and 10 from the 32. And a quick handoff, and Joel Weedle, who we understand had a hip pointer, is in there now as he takes the handoff, and it looks like he's okay to go today. There you see the starters for Northwestern on defense. DeYoung along with Trable, DeHaan, Weldon, Costin over there too, Hegstad over there as well. And then you got Powell, Ambrose, Zylstra, and Wohlert.
No gain on that first play, a rushing play, and they're going to try and get that running attack going, but that's been an area they've struggled in. They're going to try and get some lanes to run through. You see the big splits on the offensive line.
Wheel here on 2nd down, cuts back into the 40, gets a 1st down. What a pickup that was for Joel Weedle.
Well, and if Weedle was in there, they said they were going to widen their splits way out, go to 3, 4, 5 foot splits, make some lanes hopefully for him to cut through. And this time a little misdirection on a counter play. And he gets brought down after a nice gain. First down yardage all the way out to the 48-yard line.
Weedle, the sophomore from Fremont Bergen.
Good block on the outside by Connor Zumpf as well.
So from the 48, Francis, little play action here. Looks to Zumpf at the 30, and a first down. And he loses the football. Are they going to rule him down? They're going to rule him down. Boy, that was close. But a nice air attack that time. Again, Tyler Francis looking for his go-to guy, Connor Zumpf.
Well, we hit it in the pregame. Zumpf to Francis is where it's at. A good play action this time after a successful running play. Zumpf just right in front of the coverage. And yeah, his back was down when that ball came out.
Nice little pickup.
This is exactly what they did against Morningside. Came out, started strong. Hopefully they can carry it through, punch one in here as they get into the red zone.
So from the 17, Francis throws the pass. Diving for it, goes out of bounds, incomplete. And it was Connor Davis that was the intended target.
Davis, it's incomplete.
Good effort to stretch and catch it. It was just thrown kind of a comeback there and a little too far for Davis from Zumpf. The last week, 46 pass attempts by Tyler Francis. He completed 30 of them, broke his own record for completions in a game. He did 28. He's had that previously 2 times. But so they did air it out last week. But you see big splits again. Let's see if they try and let Weedle find a lane to run through.
So 2nd and 10. Francis looking to the far corner, up in the air. Pass is going to go incomplete. And it was Larson, the intended target. They're going to say he was out of bounds.
I'll tell you, a couple nice catches by the Wesleyan wide receivers, but both of them have been out of bounds when they make the catch. Check here. The replay, tough to see right at the bottom, but he doesn't get a foot in bounds as he lands that whole body out of bounds.
Jermaine Ambrose with good coverage on that play, Lucas. Playing tight on Ryan Larson.
These Red Raider defenders, they're pretty good against the pass, and they do it a lot up front. They get to the quarterback. They've sacked the quarterback 10 times already this season, so they'll be coming after Francis. Bring a blitz here.
Near side flat, complete. And reception made. Looks like that was Schneider who made the catch. That'll bring up 4th down. The ball close to the 10-yard line.
Right away by
and now the field goal unit will come out. And this is where we get to see Kramer Rapp, the freshman from Lincoln Southwest. He'll come out and attempt the field goal from the 18, a 28-yard attempt from the right hash mark.
He's only 1 of 4 on the season. He's 1 of 1 from 30 to 39. He's missed 3 field goals from 20 to 29 yards out.
The snap is botched. And Gelb going to pick it up, and he's going to be taken down for a loss. And there's a big stop for Northwestern. And again, it was Jermaine Ambrose in on the play to make the stop, as Andrew Gelb lost the snap and tried to recover it, and so Wesleyan's drive stalls and cannot convert. There you see it again.
It wasn't a terrible snap. It did have a lot of velocity on it, but just right through the hands of Gelb, and then nothing doing there. Good pursuit to the football after that. No chance to make that up. So the offense stalls out right in the red zone, and then a special teams miscue, which throughout the years, special teams kind of a forte of Nebraska Wesleyan.
We'll check in with Corey Ross coming up here in just a moment, kind of get his thoughts on the situation. Let's go with 1st and 10 from the 36 for Northwestern. And Bruinsma, the quarterback, and it's a handoff. They go right around right tackle in the interior part of the line. And they carry that time from Jesse Riley.
The ball.
He's a junior out of Redlands, California.
Sean Lindgren.
So 2nd and 10. There you see the starters for Northwestern. Janota among those in that line. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Holstein over there too. Buskirk as well. Then you got Johnson and Green. We talked about Johnson. He's one of the other guys that Bruinsma will look to. And Bruinsma here on 2nd down, rolling to his right. And Hunter Hand is over there to make the stop. And it's for a loss of about 2 to 3 yards on the play. Good pursuit that time from Hunter Hand. the junior out of Springfield Platteview. And there you see the other starters, the quarterback Bruinsma, Hudson over there, and then Riley, the running back.
Until he's sacked by number 53, Hunter Hand.
He's a little bit inexperienced. Bruinsma, just his third start. He played behind Blumendahl last season as the backup. They're a very balanced attack. They don't ask him to air it out all the time. They're just a sophomore.
Third down here for Bruinsma. And it's going to go incomplete. Good coverage from Eric Richards on the play, but a flag going to be thrown. It's pass interference going to be whistled against Nebraska Wesleyan. And that's going to be costly. Let's head downstairs. Let's check in with Corey Ross and get the latest from him. Corey?
Hello?
Corey, talk about that last play, of course, with Nebraska Wesleyan on the situation where they were setting up for the field goal. Anything that comes to mind on what could have been done differently? Was it a pretty good snap in your opinion?
Yeah, the snap was perfect. He just didn't secure the catch, and that's one thing you have to be as a holder. You have to be able to secure that catch. It came just a little hot, so it did come a little fast, but you have to be able to, keep your head down, keep your eyes focused on that ball, and mark it for the kicker, because those are important points that were just taken off the board.
All right, Corey, thanks a lot. We'll check in again with him later on. They're going to wave off the flag, by the way, so no pass interference called. This will bring up fourth down, and this is big for the Wesleyan defense. Good coverage that time from Richards. And now Seth Wardeen is back around the 20-yard line, awaiting the return. And it'll be Josh Trable who will punt. Trable splits time as a defensive lineman. A high snap. Wesleyan going after it, and Trable finally gets the punt off. And that will take a bounce down the far side. Not a bad punt considering the situation he got himself into. That thing's going to roll inside the 20 and down to the Wesleyan 18-yard line.
I tell you what, that is just one heck of a play by Trable to even get the punt off, and then the friendly bounce. I mean, he just pinned him inside their own 20, and he had to chase that, and here it goes over his head. It just took a perfect bounce there for him to be able to come up and just turn and kick. He had no idea where anybody was. And hits at the 40 and a 20-yard roll inside the 20 for Nebraska Wesleyan.
And how many defensive linemen do you see that can do punting like that, especially in a situation where the snap was right over his head?
Well, so far today, the long snappers, or the holder in the last case, not having a great day.
They'll spread the offense here for Wesleyan, and Francis will send runner in motion out of the backfield. That's Zumpf who gets the catch over the middle. Cuts out to the near side. Stiff arm. And down the near sideline he goes. Zumpf in a foot race. And he's going to be ran out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at about the 28. How about that for a pickup?
And that was all Connor Zumpf after the catch. He picked up one nice block, but able to make the first defender miss. Almost a little jump cut. Take a look here. Makes the catch, and then, boop, right there. Two defenders go down, a stiff arm there, and down the sideline he goes. A great job by Connor Zumpf. And I just keep coming back to 2 years ago, this kid wasn't even going to play college football. He was here to play basketball, didn't work out on the hardwood, and here he is, emerging as one of the top receivers in the GPAC.
Francis going to spread it out again. Here on 1st and 10. Pass complete. Schneider makes the catch. They're going to give him a pickup of just 3 yards on the play to the 25.
You know what, Jeff, though? 3 yards on first down. If you're getting it via the run, via the pass, they've kind of resigned to the fact that the passing game is where they have to be, so they need to protect Tyler Francis here. Those D linemen got close a few times, but he's been able to get rid of it. Good, quick routes. Doesn't have to stay in the pocket very long. They're very aware of this pass rush of the Red Raiders.
Something Earhart near side. Earhart in motion. A little screen toss underthrown by Francis to Weedle. Incomplete. Second down, now third down here for the Prairie Wolves.
A lot of misdirection on that one. It may have been good for 4 or 5 yards if he could have hauled it in, but it's a little short there. They're running Earhart across the formation, try and bring an extra defender with him, and then fake a little flare pass, bring it back on the screen. Third and long here.
So Francis will send a man in motion. Toss over the middle. Incomplete. Connor Davis, the intended target that time. He was the guy that was in motion out of the backfield. Fourth down here for the Wolves.
They've ran that motion a couple times, and they just run almost a slant off of it, and they've liked what they've had so far.
Timeout, Nebraska Wesleyan. First timeout of the half.
Chalk things over here on 4th and 7.
Scoreless here with just over 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. Back to Able Stadium in a moment.
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
There you see head coach Brian Keller, the winningest coach in Nebraska Wesleyan history. This is 19th season. He's number 9 with the most wins of all active NAIA coaches, and he was the 2000 GPAC Coach of the Year. He is the dean of all coaches here in the GPAC Conference. And Coach Keller trying to draw up something here and decide what they're going to do here on 4th and about 7. They're in kind of a neutral zone, a little too close to punt, a little far out to try to go for a field goal.
Yeah, it'd be a 40. Well, you'd be looking at, put it down at the 32. You're looking at 42 yards. Now, the longest that he has made is a 34.
That's Kramer Rath that we're referring to, the place kicker for Wesleyan. So they're going to go for it on 4th down. Francis. Long count. Over the middle to Zump, who makes the catch, and it's enough for a first down at the 10-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 9, and the Prairie Wolves keep the drive going.
Give Francis some credit here. He kind of had to float that one in there. He knew Zumpf wasn't going to be open quite yet, but the pressure was coming. He had to get rid of it. Just floats it right over the top. Zumpf and Francis, they have something special here this season so far.
So 1st and goal, they'll spread it out at the 9. And Weedle going to take the carry. And Weedle is quickly tackled from behind. He gets about a yard on the play to the 8.
Joel Weedle squirts around the left end. He's brought down
this
by
Northwestern team. They're ranked
Hurt.
16th in the nation, but they already have one loss. They were up big early in the season in their season opener and ended up giving up over 28 points in the final half to lose that one. And then they won an overtime thriller against the Tigers from down the road in Doane just 2 weeks ago.
2nd and goal. Zumpf, the wide out here on the right, Larson on the left. Francis looking for Zumpf again into the end zone here in the near side corner. A little bit overthrown by Francis. It goes incomplete. So a 3rd and goal coming up.
I think Francis had to get rid of that one. Take a look. Oh, he had a decent amount of time. He just put a little too much zip on it. If he could have floated it over the top a little bit, maybe Zumpf would have had a chance. He's got a few for a touchdown in that corner before.
So a 3rd and goal. And Schneider will be the receiver here on the near side. Davis out to the left. And Lovell, the slot. Far side corner ball tipped up. It goes incomplete. Good coverage again. That was Ambrose for Northwestern who tipped up that pass that was going to Connor Davis in the far corner of the end zone. 4th down here, and now the field goal unit coming back out.
Ambrose made some nice plays out in coverage so far. That time he saved a touchdown. He got the fingers on it, tapped it out. He's been in a couple other pass breakups so far on the season, or on this game.
So almost down the middle for Kramer Rath. From the 15, a 25-yard attempt. Here's the snap. The kick is blocked. Loose football, and this is going to be a foot race downfield, and a loose football going to be picked up by who? Northwestern looks like they got it back, but Second time that the field goal is going to rye here for Wesleyan, and Northwestern lucks out again.
Well, Nebraska Wesleyan may have been the lucky one there. I thought that it was going to get scooped and scored. It was all white jerseys. That one, just the kick never elevated at all. And right here, if he could have scooped that, he would have been off the races. You said a foot race, but just couldn't secure the football. So instead of a chance to race it in for 6, they'll have great field position to start here. That's a squandered drive by Nebraska Wesleyan, 8 plays, 74 yards, and twice they've been down near the red zone and unable to capitalize.
So from the 46, Bruinsma pitches it. Riley from behind, tackled by Hunter Hand of Nebraska Wesleyan.
Hunter Hand has had his hand in a handful of tackles already this afternoon. He's been able to string them out. You look at that defensive line up front, Latimer, Lindgren, Lawrence, and Jennings for Nebraska Wesleyan. Those linebackers, Seth Wardine, Vandenberg, he's the player to watch, and Hunter Hand, we just mentioned him. Back there it's Richards, Bainey, Kelberod, and Shoemaker.
So Bruinsma.
Good shoestring tackle by Latimer.
Big time shoestring tackle. Paul Hudson tripped up on the play by Latimer. It seems like he's okay. Remember, he's got some issues with his hamstring.
Yeah, he was possibly a game time decision depending on how that hamstring felt, but looks like it's feeling all right here so far for the returning All-American Phil Latimer.
4 down lineman here for Wesleyan. Little play action here. Bruinsma toss complete. And a big wrap up by Hunter Hand on the play for Nebraska Wesleyan. As he made the stop on Eric Waltz of Northwestern. That'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the punting unit for the Red Raiders.
Just a little short again, kind of a screen as they run misdirection one way, bring it back the other, but Hunter Hand stayed at home, able to make the play, showing good speed to the football, Hunter Hand.
So the first 2 drives for the Red Raiders have stalled. Wesleyan defense has stepped it up. And now Wardine awaiting the punt.
It's like a different punter this time.
Yeah, rugby style punt. And this will go out of bounds far side. This will be around the 13-yard line.
At their own 13-yard line.
Looks like that was Jesse Wallnifer. Although it could have been, they have 2 4s listed, Jeff. So
yeah,
Wallnifer sometimes is the long snapper, and that time he's back there at the punter. So
well, in Trable, in the depth chart that we have for this week, Trable is listed as the starting punter.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to what he's doing on defense.
So the Wesleyan Prairie Wolves just had an 8-play, 74-yard drive. Started about this same spot, but were unable to get anything on the board.
Francis here on 1st and 10. Trying to go to a short route on the outside. It is Larson who comes up with a reception of about 3 yards.
83 Ryan Larson, and it's complete.
And they've broken a couple running plays early here, Jeff, but still struggling on the ground, so they just go to these short to intermediate passing routes here. Treat it as almost a long handoff in some cases, but that time just a nice little out route. Pick up 3 yards, second and manageable that way.
Closing in on 5 minutes remaining, first quarter. Francis gets it. And it is Jones or Lovell, I believe, that took that one.
It's a little delayed handoff there, but that interior front there had nothing to do with it for Nebraska Wesleyan making the tackle that time. Brady Disbro.
It is Jones that got the carry. And for now, the ground game has been non-existent.
That's kind of been the knock on them the entire season, is they haven't been able to get it going. We were averaging just 27 yards per game rushing as a team. That's not one guy. That's the entire team. Now, granted, some of that gets a little bit misleading if you take some sacks, and they've taken 8 of them. Those come off your rushing total.
Francis will spread it out. Far side pass goes incomplete. Good coverage from Ambrose on the far side.
And there was pressure there that time up front from that Northwestern front.
Brooks Earhart was the intended receiver for Wesleyan, so a 3-and-out for the Prairie Wolves. And this is the first time that they've been forced to punt. The first 2 drives resulted in botched field goal attempts.
Well, and Gelb, the punter, had a hand in the first one. He couldn't handle that snap, so hopefully he's put that out of his mind. He's got to focus here as he's standing in his own goal line.
Here's the punt. This one goes off the side of his foot high in the air. And that takes a bounce around the 25-yard line. And they're going to mark it at the 24. So Northwestern has been given good field positioning.
It was a 9-yard punt.
And went off the side of the foot, too. You could tell right away when that thing went off his foot how high it went up.
Special teams is, other than the return game, the opening kickoff, a nice return. Special teams has been a thorn in the side here this afternoon. Now your defense is in a tough spot.
And now Bruinsma will bring this offense. He's got Riley with him in the backfield. He'll spread it out a little bit. Go with an option. Riley gets the pitch, and Seth Wardeen is first to meet up with him to make the stop. Hunter Hand comes in to finish him off.
Tell you what, Jeff, side to side this afternoon, Nebraska Wesleyan's defense against this Red Raider attack has looked solid. Defensive end gets off his block, knocks Broomsman to the ground, and Wardeen and Hand are right there to clean up the running back.
How many times do you see a team in the G-Pack even trying to run the option?
More zone read these days. You don't see a lot of true option there where you're reading the defensive end.
Like you said, either zone read or the spread. Pass over here on 2nd and long goes incomplete. Deep coverage that time. Richards and Vandenberg over there. Intended receiver for Northwestern was Ben Green.
And he's the target that they'll try and go to, the senior.
So a 3rd and long. And what's surprising here, Lucas, is this Northwestern offense has been very slow. And the Wesleyan defense has taken advantage of that. They've had good coverage down on the pass routes. And the linebacking core with Hand and Wardeen, they've been able to meet up with some of the...
And knock on wood, they haven't given up a big play yet.
No. Bruinsma, 3rd and long. Pass far side to Green, incomplete. It's short, or complete. It is short, though, the first down. They're going to mark it at the 17 of Nebraska Wesleyan. This will bring up 4th down. And let's see if they go with the field goal unit or if they're going to go for it. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Looks like they're going to leave the offense out on the field. Field goals, their kickers only attempted 2 as well, 1 of 2 from 30 to 39. So they're going to go try and pick this one up. Big play here for Nebraska Wesleyan defense.
Got a couple of guys in the backfield here. Bruinsma, Riley gets the handoff, runs into a tackle. Did he get it? He may have been denied.
He's going to be close.
It is close. It's a matter of where the forward progress has been marked.
Corey Ross down the sideline. I see him. He thinks they turned him back. Corey had a pretty good look at it.
Yep. Let's check in with Corey Ross really quick. Corey, give us your take on this.
Oh, yeah, I'm just about to say it, but obviously we just found out they stopped them. Defensively are playing very, very well. I mean, a botched punt there, you're thinking they're in bad field goal or field position and they might get a score, a chance to kick a field goal and go up because they're missing 6 points. But, man, these guys are playing very, very fast, very tough, physical. Coach is excited right now. Coach Keller is really telling these guys on offense, just be patient, be calm. We will put up points. And they're looking. We'll see what happens here.
All right, Corey, thanks a lot.
I think Corey said be patient because they've gotten into the red zone twice. They've been right at it, just unable to punch it in. They're going to turn it around and find the end zone.
Play action. Francis looking deep downfield to Zumpf, and it's going to be intercepted. And it's intercepted by Justin Woolert. And now a flag thrown after the play was ruled dead.
We will take a vexillology break. That's the study of flags.
They'll get together here. And he threw it into traffic. There was 2 receivers for him there, about two defenders, and he was under duress in the backfield. He needed to get rid of the football. It was a longer route. Take a look. Pressure's coming. Had to kind of double clutch to get a good job of moving the pocket, but I'm not sure what the flag, if it's going to be maybe right there, a little unsportsmanlike. I'm not sure. Let's take a listen.
Personal foul, 82, Doan. 15-yard penalty from the end of the interception. 1st and 10, Northwestern.
Take a look here at the end of the run. He's down, pops up, and right there, a little extra push.
So Connor Davis guilty of the penalty for Nebraska Wesleyan. Justin Woolert, who played deep and played center field, did a good job on the coverage and intercepted the pass. But Francis again looking for Zumpf on that play.
Well, and that's the comfort level I think that they have. And maybe at some point, sometimes it costs you because you always know in the back of your head, hey, he's the guy I can count on, I can go to. You got to look at some of your other options. But really it was Davis and Zumpf in the area, the pressure in the pocket. It was kind of the perfect storm that time. He maybe just didn't have a good look on how many defenders were around him.
And how about this? Phil Latimer coming in and blitzing and hitting Riley and taking him down for a loss of about 2 yards.
Well, Phil's been quiet. He's been nursing that hamstring. And
watch this again.
He's in the backfield almost before that handoff even takes place.
Oh, man.
That's the Phil Latimer everyone knows and loves if you're a Nebraska Wesleyan fan.
The senior from Broomfield, Colorado.
This defense has answered the bell on these short field position situations.
Bruinsma in play action. He's going to keep it. Taking himself, he's going to stumble forward and down to the Nebraska Wesleyan 35-yard line just across there.
Well, you kind of see it there. Bruinsma, not necessarily a threat on the ground. Didn't look very comfortable with the football in his hands as a rusher. And they want to take away the running game. That's what Nebraska Wesleyan wants to do. Take it away and force Bruinsma to be the one who beats them through the air.
The ground game, as you've mentioned, Lucas, has been something of a staple for Northwestern. But they'll spread it out with two receivers each side. Bruinsma looking to throw. Got a man downfield. It's going to be overthrown incomplete.
Good
deep
coverage.
Killebrod that time with deep coverage for Wesleyan.
And good coverage across the board there. The short intermediate routes were covered well. Over the middle, they tried to sneak a receiver in there, settle in the zone. That was covered up well all over. Good coverage by that defensive backfield of the Prairie Wolves.
And on 4th and 7, Northwestern going for it.
You get the feeling, Jeff, neither team real confident in their kicker.
The special teams has been very suspect, and now what do we got here? Flags come out, false start against Northwestern. So move it back 5 yards.
False start. 85 offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down, fourth down.
So this will go back to the 40-yard line. The special teams game for both Northwestern and Nebraska Wesleyan has been very suspect.
That time it was Ben Green, the senior wide receiver. That's kind of one of those procedure penalties as a coach that you can't really stand, because that receiver, all he's got to do is watch the football. And when it moves, he moves.
So 4th down.
One hop to snap.
Wallnofer
and another punt.
Shanks the punt as it goes bouncing around the 29 and out of bounds.
So the teams trade punts of less than 13 yards. Not a good day in the punting and special teams department on either side of the football.
Wow. Not good. And that's probably something that once we get to halftime, both teams are going to be having a long talk about the special teams. And I would imagine at some point before we resume with the second half, the special teams units for both teams, or at least the kicking core of the special teams, will be out there working. In fact, as you look down here on the sideline for Wesleyan, both Kramer Rath and Gelb, they're down there working.
That was a 12-yard punt after a 9-yard punt for Wesleyan.
And it looked like Weedle that time took the carry, and he's going to be thrown back down for a loss of yards. In fact, they're going to say he had a little bit of forward progress, but right at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play.
I tell you, both these defenses look solid today, though, Jeff. I mean, side to side of the football, a lot of speed for Northwestern. They've been doing a pretty good job. More of a bend, don't break for Northwestern as they've given up some big plays. But for the most part, both these defenses just playing very fast, very physical.
2nd and 10. Weedle in motion here for Wesleyan. Francis in trouble, and he is taken down for a loss. That defense getting through. Greg Hegstead over there in on the tackle, helping out for the Red Raiders. Take a look at this again.
Timeout, Northwestern. First timeout of the...
So with 32 seconds remaining, first quarter. Still no score. Back to Able Stadium in just a moment.
What excites me is being able to build something that isn't there. We're not about following the norm. We're about creating.
New concepts, they're always in the back of my head. The burger place that everybody wants it to be.
It just went crazy. But it wasn't at a point that we knew it could fully support a new adventure.
Sebastian's Table is everything I love about food. So Union Bank willing to take on a restaurant and give us a chance. We know there's always somebody there who will back us if we want to do something new.
We don't want to slow down. We're ready to keep rolling.
Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network proud to bring you GPAC football today. 16th ranked Northwestern in town against the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves. Wesleyan trying to even up their record. Northwestern had a tough time here recently with Doane.
Yeah, had to go to overtime. And like I say, they've lost their season opening game to Bacone from down in Oklahoma.
So 3rd and long here for Wesleyan out of the timeout.
And that was a Northwestern timeout, but that might have helped Nebraska Wesleyan. Tyler Francis had to shake the cobwebs out after that one.
Blitz is on. Weedle still on his feet, but not for long. Tackled on the play.
He's tackled on this play.
Court
by
Eklund.
number 11, Court Eklund.
Coming in to make the stop. Just across the 20-yard line, 4th down, and now comes the punting unit.
Northwestern. Second timeout of the half.
Burning a timeout. Let's check in again with Corey Ross if we can check in with him here really quick, and we'll do that here in just a bit to kind of get an idea on what could be done in the running game here for Wesleyan.
Well, they're trying a few new things today, Jeff. Like I said, they're trying to widen those gaps when Weedle's in the backfield, give him a little bit more lanes to run through, open things up. And another reason they do that is to try and keep those defensive ends away from Tyler Francis. You know, first sack of the afternoon just 2 plays ago, but they've done a pretty good job of it so far. But they're going to get to Francis at some point. I mean, they've had 11 sacks now in the season. You look at this schedule for Nebraska Wesleyan. Number 3 now, Tabor. Number 1, Morningside. This week, Northwestern. Concordia is receiving votes down there 2 weeks ago. And next week, Doane, 100th meeting. Then Dakota Wesleyan, they're ranked as well. It's the GPAC week to week. It doesn't really get a whole lot easier, no matter if there's a ranking before that name or not.
Because a lot of teams are just flat out talented in this conference. It's one of the tougher conferences you're going to find. Gelb's punt. Nice punt. And it's going to be picked up at around the 45 and a run out here to the near side. Wide open down the near side of the field. It will be Gentry who gets into the end zone, but we got a flag on the field. This will probably come back. So this will likely come back as a hold.
I don't know if it's a hold or if they're going to get him for a block in the back. The Nebraska Wesleyan, take a look. Now, he didn't fair catch this. Right in traffic, runs right by the 2 gunners, and the block is going to come right there.
Back on the receiving team, be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Northwestern.
Kyle Achteroff over there on the sideline isn't happy. Now, I'm not sure if he isn't happy with his player for the block or if he isn't happy with the call, as he thought that player was already on the ground. But give some credit catching that right in the traffic. And then right there, you already got 2 guys beat because you're right ahead of them. Take a look. The block's right there. And they thought that, it was a pretty clean block. And that one was, that one could have went either way there, I think, Jeff. It was pretty close to a clean block.
You got to credit Gentry taking that risk of not signaling the fair catch and running it back. So 1st and 10, the option to the far side. Riley gets the pitch, and he is tripped up by Seth Wardeen around the 32-yard line. Time winding out here. The first quarter wraps up. Interesting. Defense has been the name of the game so far in this one here at Able Stadium. We are scoreless through 1. Second quarter coming up in a few moments.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
Back at Able Stadium, Jeff Moats, Lucas Mormon, Corey Ross, and our Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew with you from Able Stadium this afternoon. Scoreless here as we begin the second quarter. And one thing we want to talk about more than anything is the running game. Corey Ross, as we check in with you, there are so many things that Wesleyan's tried to do with the ground game today. What else can they try to do to get that ground game going against this tough Northwestern defense?
Yeah, I was just on the sideline listening to Coach Keller talk to the offensive line and get some feedback from his linemen and the quarterback. It seems as if they do like the larger splits, and they're thinking of going straight dive. They're going to come out in a big set and then go straight dive instead of the read option type, gun type runs that they've been running so far. It seems like the O-line loves that play, and so we'll see if that helps when they get back on offense.
I mean, anything possible to search for answers to get that ground game going.
That's kind of what they did last year against Northwestern, was run it right at them. Now, I think they felt maybe that they weren't going to be able to do that as effectively today, so they had to try a few other things, but maybe they're back to something that worked. We've seen a lot of option out of Northwestern this drive.
Bruinsma going to take it himself, dive ahead. Phil Latimer there trips him up short of the first down at the 29.
Scrambling up the middle, but he is smacked by Phil Latimer.
He's going to be about a yard to a half a yard shy of that first down marker. And I would say this is 4-down territory for Northwestern. Only a half a yard to go. They've went with bigger. Teams have went for it against Nebraska Wesleyan 11 times on 4th down this year.
And they stop him.
And that's the second time they've stopped him. The other time was a kneel down on Tabor at the end of a half.
Kalen Vanderberg over there, Hunter Hand, Latimer, they're all in that
good
play.
Surge up front.
Take a look at this again.
Tackled on the play by Kalen Vandenberg.
I take that back. That's twice today they've stopped him on 4th down. Jeff forgot about the big stand down here.
And that was the thing that we talked about as some of the keys to the game today, is that defense where Wesleyan has got to step up. And they've done that so far. That was a big play there by Vandenberg.
Oh, for sure, Jeff. You can put a check mark in that box for right now on those keys to the game. The defense has definitely showed up today. And part of that might be having their quote-unquote leader back out there, Phil Latimer. You know, he didn't play last week in the win, and he only played a half of that Morningside game. So he's back out there fired up, helping his team along.
Francis will spread it out again from the 29. Over the middle. Earhart with a catch, and he gets bumped up and knocked down at the 40 for a first down as he collided with Zylstra.
Brooks Earhart.
Zylstra, rather, he came in and knocked down Earhart. What a grab that was.
They've had some success over the middle, Jeff. They've found a little soft spot when those linebackers creep up and show maybe a little blitz, and they don't get back to that pass responsibility quite quick enough. They've had some open spots. They've run Zumpf in motion there. They've run now Earhart. They found a way to do that. Now here's this straight eye formation we talked about.
Here's a pitch. Shaka Taylor, in his first carry of the game, is taken down for a loss of yards. behind the 35 at the 34.
Might have been a broken play. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a pitch play to the outside. Something didn't look smooth on that play. I think someone maybe went the wrong direction. And it's costly because now you're at first and almost 20, first and 19, or second and call it 17.
So 3 receivers here near side. Francis in trouble. Throws the ball upfield and it goes incomplete. Earhart was his intended target. You had double coverage on him, though, that time for Northwestern.
And that pocket was collapsing quickly.
Up by number 1, Jacob Zylstra.
Zylstra over there, too. That's a guy that we mentioned here just a little bit ago.
Give Francis credit again, just being mobile enough with his feet to escape there. And instead of taking a sack and losing another 6 yards, he at least was able to get a pass attempt in, although incomplete. Nebraska Wesleyan going the wrong way on this drive.
3rd and long. Francis looking to throw over the middle. Diving catch goes incomplete. Earhart again the intended target.
And it was there. It was wide open. That's one of those, you come back to that first game of the year where they just missed a couple passes, didn't make a couple catches when they should have, but the plays were there, and that one was definitely there.
That was Derek Cord, who was the intended receiver for Wesleyan that time. And so 4th down.
And back to the adventure that is special teams for both these squads.
So the snap to Gelb, here it is. Nice kick. And Gentry going to take it again. And Bear Hug on the short return. Wes Betcher down there to make the stop.
Prairie Wolves lost the helmet on a block there.
Gentry. He's tackled by
a couple of
Wes
them coming
Betcher.
off without hats here. Take a look right there. That's a pretty solid block. Got to have your head on a swivel on the return team.
So 1st and 10 for Northwestern. 33-yard line is where they'll work. Just under 12 and a half minutes to go in this first half. Wesleyan with 4 down linemen here. Little play action here from Bruinsma looking downfield. Going to be incomplete. Broken play and a flag thrown. Walnofer was the receiver, it looked like, for
Richards was out there in coverage. Excuse me. Their feet kind of just got tangled, but.
Defensive pass interference, 15 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Take a look here. Yeah, I mean, he fell down. There was a little contact both ways, but when you impede the progress of that receiver, you're going to get that flag thrown on you 9 out of 10 times like that, whether or not it was intentional.
So 1st and 10. Another play action here. Bruinsma going to be taken down by David Jennings. And it seems like Bruinsma was looking for somebody deep, and then he couldn't find anybody because of the deep coverage, and really had to improvise. By that point, that allowed Jennings to get there and make the stop.
Well, that's what Coach Kroon, the defensive coordinator, wants to do. Force him to make plays in the passing game. He's not real comfortable back there, and the coverage, again, was solid, top to bottom level all the way through. And Bruinsma, when he's back there, I mean, he was carrying that thing like a loaf of bread as well. He doesn't protect it very well.
Riley on the option left side, stumbles ahead across the 50, tripped up at the 46 in Wesleyan territory. This will bring up.
That's about the biggest gain we've seen out of the option. It'll be about 3rd and 4 here. But we've seen a lot of it today, and really Nebraska Wesleyan has strung it out fairly well. And Bruinsma, coming into the game, he had negative 20 yards rushing, and that's because of some of the sacks he's taken, but not really known as a rushing quarterback.
Bruinsma rolling right. Flag thrown. This might be a holding penalty. Catch made. And it's going to be Bainey who makes the stop on the receiver for Northwestern. TJ Spikestra was the guy that made the catch for Northwestern, but this is going to be a holding penalty
So we do have protocol violation.
I think it was
65 offense. 10-yard penalty. In the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
It was Buskirk that got caught for the hold, and he was going up against Lawrence on that play. Take a look here, right there, all the way.
Yep.
Easy call for the referee.
So 3rd and long. And this will be at the Northwestern 44 as they work between the hash marks. Bruinsma in the pocket. Throw near side incomplete. Spikes thread the intended target. Broken up by Riley Shoemaker, the former Crusader from Grand Island Central Catholic.
Give Shoemaker some credit there, too. I thought that he was going to sneak that one in, and it would have been close to having to shoestring the out-of-bounds stripe, but is able to get a hand on it and knock away at the last minute. And now we go back to the punting game, a different punter again, so back to, looks like we're going to have Trable back there to punt again, who really did the miraculous in that first punt.
This one goes high, and we'll go bouncing around the 31, bounce out of bounds between there and the 32.
This punt comes down with ice on it, but rolls out of bounds.
So 10.5 minutes here in this first half. Special teams have been out there a lot today. The defense has been playing outstanding for both teams. Wesleyan looks very good. The offense from both sides has struggled.
Well, and especially in the rushing department for Nebraska Wesleyan and vice versa, really in the passing department for Northwestern. So, you know, if they could get together, I mean, one's doing one facet well, the other one's doing the other, but neither's put together a real balanced attack here yet this afternoon.
So from the 32. Francis. Reception, far side, nope, knocked away, incomplete. Schneider, the intended target for Tyler Francis. Double coverage, even triple coverage a little bit over there. Ambrose among those making the stop for Northwestern.
And he's been solid for them all day, Ambrose, back there in coverage. That time the offensive line gave Francis a little bit of time. It was a quick out, but you know, this offensive line's got 4 new starters on it this year. It's a young group as well up front there.
Splits over here near side, Larson and Corey Jones. A swing toss to Weedle. Weedle spins out of a tackle, stutter steps, and nowhere to go. So a loss of yards behind the 30 at the 28.
Yeah, Corey Jones out in that wide slot spot just completely let his defender go right by him, and that play was blown up from the get-go, and there was nothing for Joey Jones to do.
Schneider, the split far side right. Over here on the left side, it's Davis. You got the tight end Horde lined up here on the left line. Francis looking to throw on 3rd and long. Has time to throw. Ball knocked out of his hands, loose football, and they're going to rule it an incomplete pass.
Wow.
And Northwestern fans did not like the call.
Neither did the coaching staff across the way. And
they thought, yeah.
I'm kind of maybe on the side of them. I wasn't sure that was a
I don't think that was
motion.
necessarily a forward motion throw. As you said, there you go.
Well, he was
but by that point, before he released it, looked like he was releasing the ball. It got stripped out of his hands.
I agree with you. That's a tough one.
That's kind of a tough call right there.
Take a look one more time.
Let's see.
Steps up in the pocket to avoid the rush here. Knows
right
it's
about
coming.
There. I think that might have been a fumble.
A nice punt.
Gentry going to watch it go, and it takes a bounce deep, and they're going to try to run in there, and they couldn't get to it in time, so it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Still a solid punt from Gelb.
He's kind of rebounded after that first
the 9-yarder.
After that first punt that went off the side of his foot for 9, and since then he's put the ball in the air and it's carried pretty well.
Corey Ross was down there, had a chance to look at that pass maybe from the sideline view. What did you think down there, Corey, if we can check in and get your thought on that?
I'm sorry, it's a little windy down here. What you asked me?
On that last incomplete pass, what did from the field level, did that look like it was a fumble, perhaps, or?
Oh no, his arm was clearly going forward. I mean, he almost stayed. I know what he saw was he was looking deep. There was a post wide open, and he was just about to launch it. But yeah, his arm was going forward. Great call by the referees there.
The distance to the goal.
Thanks, Corey.
10 from the 10-yard line.
And like we said here a little bit ago, it probably could have gone either way from what we were seeing on the replay. It did look like that the throwing motion, the arm was in the forward throwing motion when the ball was knocked out of there.
So the holding penalty on Northwestern, even though there wasn't a return, knocks them back 10 yards. So they have 90 yards to go here. The deepest they've started in their own territory.
Bruinsma going to keep it on the option, gets about a yard to the 11.
John, you look at, as we're under 10 minutes left here in the second quarter, just 2 first downs for Northwestern in the game, 5 for Nebraska Wesleyan. Neither team averaging more than 4. Nebraska Wesleyan 3.5 yards a play, which isn't terrible. 1.6 for Northwestern per play so far. So that defense has stepped up for Nebraska Wesleyan today.
Bruinsma looking to throw deep downfield. It is caught at the 40-yard line by Green. Eludes a tackle. Breaks across the 50 and finally tackled just inside the 45 at about the 43. Almost a face mask penalty that could have been whistled is Kelebarad.
He just got turned around, and this pass was so far underthrown. It was so far underthrown that it got him open.
Right about there.
Just almost got a piece of it, but really Kelebarad was in a pretty good spot, but then it was such an underthrown ball, it was almost a duck up in there that it really brought the receiver back open. Again, good hats to the ball by this Nebraska Wesleyan defense side to side this afternoon.
Tackled by Seth Wardeen and Sean Lindgren.
So you had Lindgren and Wardeen over there for Wesleyan to make the stop on Riley, the ball carrier. Gets a yard on the play to the 43.
That was a 45-yard pass play from Bruinsma to Green, their biggest play of the afternoon.
2nd and 9. And a handoff this time. Hudson gets the carry. I think that's the second time today that we've seen him get a handle on the football.
Hudson seems like maybe he's more the between the tackles runner for the Red Raiders, and they've been trying to get to the sideline, trying to spread this Nebraska Wesleyan defense out. They need to get this running attack going, does Northwestern. I say they just feel better when Bruinsma doesn't have to make throws like he did last time, which, even though it was a completion, wasn't necessarily a great pass.
And now David Jennings is there to make the stop and sack him right behind the 45 at the 46.
I tell you what, right tackle Cody Buskirk has had his handful with Jennings over there and Lawrence the last couple of series.
Unreal. And if you're Kevin Kroom, you've got to be pleased with how your defense is playing today.
Well, now we swap back to punter number 2 for Northwestern, as looks like Walnifer will.
It's the punt, nice spiral to it. Wardeen gets it at the 6. He's going to run out of bounds around the 15. And gets 9 yards on the return.
Returns the punt. He's chased out of bounds by number 57.
No score, nearly.
I mean, wouldn't you like to hear what Coach Kroom is thinking right about now?
I think
what he's thinking with his defense.
His guys are doing exactly what he's been asking them to all afternoon.
Coach Keller has to be pleased with the defensive effort too. The one thing again that's been lagging is the offense. And it's not just Wesleyan, it's Northwestern's offense. They've struggled too.
I think we've talked about it continuously throughout the broadcast, but it's the fact that each of them are pretty one-dimensional right now.
Here's a toss. Weedle gets it. So he tries to cut to the outside, gets about a yard to the 16 before he's forced out of bounds.
That's a lot of work for 1 yard by Weedle, as they just haven't been able to get things clicking. Weedle had about an 11-yard run earlier in the game on that first drive, but since then it's been tough sledding.
2nd and 9. Zumpf and Earhart, the receivers far side right. Davis and Jones over here on the left, and Weedle in the backfield with Tyler Francis. Francis, far side. It's going to be underthrown, incomplete, looking to Zumpf.
Pass intended for Connor Zumpf is incomplete.
So a 3rd and 9. Granted, they've had some big gains with the passing game today, but there have been their setbacks as well, just as this last play where the pass was thrown behind Zumpf.
At 7 for 20 right now is Tyler Francis. He does have that one interception as well. Between the botched snaps, the blocked field goal, and interception, Nebraska Wesleyan probably feels pretty good to be tied. Here comes pressure again, and there's no getting away from that.
Francis fumbles the football, but it's recovered deep inside the 5-yard line. And thankfully, right there to make the recovery was Garrett McCarthy.
It was caused by number 44, Greg Hegstad, but it's recovered by number 58, Garrett McCarthy.
So the clock winding down here with under 6 minutes to play. And it just seems like nothing is clicking right now offensively for Wesleyan.
Well, and that's 3 sacks now by the Red Raiders as Gelb stands at his own end line.
Here's the punt. And it's going to be picked up by Gentry at the 39, quickly stopped.
Good coverage that time on the
Gelb's punt is returned by number 26, Darren Gentry. Tackled
Bainey
by
down there.
Number 11, Aaron Bainey.
So now the Red Raiders have it at the Wesleyan 38.
Tickets for the baked goods raffle. The drawing will be
with
conducted
5.5 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Again, Nebraska Wesleyan's defense forced to defend the short field. They've had great field position all afternoon.
A lot of option today that we've seen from Northwestern. Kind of a pistol setup, and now they're trying to draw Wesleyan offside. But now they look to the sideline to see what the next play will be, and they'll set up for that. Another option. Here's the pitch. Riley gets it, cuts outside, near side, gets the first down, cuts back in, and finally forced out of bounds by Seth Lindgren around the 20-yard line.
Carries the ball. Finally brought down by number 96.
Coming up at halftime, I sit down with new Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball coach Dale Wellman. Catch up with him in the first few months of the job here at Wesleyan, coming all the way from Alfred University from New York, where he had a team a year ago that averaged 96.7 points a game.
That's putting it
third in the country.
Exciting basketball there.
Bruinsma deep on the pass, and it goes incomplete. And good coverage from Eric Richards. And Ben Green says, where was the flag at?
Well, I think a couple of the Nebraska Wesleyan coaches were wondering the same thing.
And
but
it could have gone the other way, too. It could have been offensive pass interference as well. Because Richards was there. He was setting the coverage. He had good position to take the ball away, too. Second and 10. Another option. Bruinsma pitching it. Brady Timmer with the carry, and a flag thrown as Timmer is thrown out of bounds on the far side by Riley Shoemaker.
I think this one's coming back. I think they caught one of the Red Raiders. I think it was Tate Kellenberger for either a hold or a block in the back.
Number 33, Riley Shoemaker.
Watch this again.
Right there.
Yep, right there.
Well, or maybe it was number 8. I think that's what they're doing. Look, we've got a Prairie Wolf who's shaking up down there on the side. Let's listen in. And
block in the back, number 8, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
J.C. Korselman, the tight end.
Yep, it was Korselman. Good pitch, good extra effort here at the end, but it's right there. You caught it just at the bottom of your screen as they'll tend to the injured Prairie Wolf. I think that might be Richards.
Yeah, let's see. Well, It is Richards, it looks like. We'll step aside for a quick 30-second break, come back to Able Stadium in just a moment.
My first exposure to agriculture was my grandpa's farm. I just had a passion for it from the beginning.
Hard work wasn't just talked about when we were growing up. It was done. The animals had to be taken care of. There's a pride in being able to say, those are our livestock.
We know we're young, but Union Bank has given us a chance. We want to leave our son the legacy of family working together and working hard.
Anything can be a lot of work, but when you find a passion, it's not near as hard.
Wolves football on the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Eric Richards being helped off the field as we return to Able Stadium. 4:52 to play. Still scoreless. And some of the youngsters here today enjoying this game. Second and 5 here for...
See if this Nebraska Wesleyan defense has another stand in them.
Spot of the foul was at the 8-yard line. 10-yard penalty. We'll go second down from the 18-yard line.
So second down, and we'll call it 8 from the 18. Northwestern looking to the side to get the play. Bruinsma out of the gun. Fakes it, throws over the middle, diving attempt, incomplete. Ben Green, the intended target for Northwestern.
Looked like Ben Green maybe just slipped a little bit out of his break.
Garrett Farr had the coverage downfield for Nebraska Wesleyan.
They've been giving Ben Green all he can handle over there. It's like
they've kind of shut him down a lot. He had one pass reception earlier, but other than that, he's been kind of non-existent. And the other guy in the backfield, Riley, how many times has he carried the ball? Very few, it looks like. And now rolling right, Bruinsma here on third down. Toward the corner near side, goes incomplete. Kellebrod had coverage on Ben Green.
Intended for Benjamin Green. Coverage on the play by Andy Klebrod brings up fourth down for the Red Raiders.
So fourth down.
Another big hold here. Some of our other games coming up. We will be out in Crete next week as the 100th meeting between Nebraska Wesleyan and Doane. We'll have it for you, as they will attempt the PAT here, or the field goal.
35-yard attempt. Here it is. The kick is blocked. Loose football. And a pile for it around the 40-yard line. We'll mark it down at the 41. And after Wesleyan had two of their field goals blocked, they returned the favor with Northwestern trying to attempt a 35-yarder.
By number 96, Sean Lindgren.
Take a look at this again.
Again, a low kick. Got his foot into it pretty good, but very low. Good push up front.
That was Seth Wardeen, I believe, that came in and blocked the kick. Look at the fans sitting outside of Bostwick Park, down just out to our south of the stadium here.
Plenty of time here, Jeff. 4 minutes. You got 2 timeouts left. If you can get something going here to put one on the board before halftime.
Francis to Zumpf. It goes incomplete. And now, second down coming up here. Zumpf looking for the contact. Woolert provided the coverage.
Well, but that's good. After a big play like the blocked field goal, take your shot. Try and pile on. Keep that momentum going. Nebraska Wesleyan did receive the football to start the first half, so Northwestern won the toss. They deferred. They will more than likely take the football to start the second half of play.
Francis, toss, complete to Jones. Jones gets the first down across the 50. Forced out the Northwestern sideline at the Northwestern 47.
He's double teamed by number 3, Donovan Weldon, and number 30.
First time we've really seen the check down work. So they floated it out to Jones in the flat, let him make a little hay after the catch.
So from the 47 of Northwestern. And now we got movement on the line, delayed count, and the flags come out offside against the Red Raiders. Jumping offside, Tyler Van Middendorp.
Offsides, 25, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Check that, Trable. That was Trable that jumped offside, the linebacker, playing up on the line that time.
He just tried to time the snap count and guessed wrong.
So 1st and 5. This will be at the 42.
Clock is rolling. 3 minutes, 30 seconds here.
Here's Francis. Over the middle. Zumpf had it go off his hands. Incomplete coverage. Zylstra was right on his tail. But we got a flag thrown.
It's right in the vicinity of holding.
Number 66 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Nick Smith, the junior out of Springfield Platteview.
Yep, just his defender got by him and he hooked him. Tried to keep him from getting to Francis. Buy him a little time, and that's what this Northwestern defense does. They bring pressure up front, averaging just over 3 sacks a game. We've had 3 here this afternoon.
Two receivers each side for the Prairie Wolves here. 1st and long. Blitz is on. Swing pass to Zumpf, far side. He's going to be tackled around the 50. And it's Ambrose to make the stop.
Pass complete to number 81, Connor Zumpf.
So with just over 3 minutes and counting, Wesleyan trying to generate some offense here, try to get something on the scoreboard here before the end of the half. Since Northwestern will receive here to begin the second half. Those swing pass routes, that's something that can work to Wesleyan's advantage.
It's like one-on-one coverage down here at the top of your screen. See if they try to exploit that any. Now they shift to safety over maybe.
Francis in trouble, and he is tackled.
Francis sacked on the play by number 7,
Sam Van Ginkel. The defensive end, 6'5", 235-pound sophomore from Rock Valley, Iowa, coming in to make the tackle.
To go down to the track for their halftime performance.
There was a few chances there. A few guys broke open momentarily in routes, but pressure too fast, too furious for Francis. Had nowhere to go with that one.
2 minutes. And counting as the Wolves break the huddle. They got 10 seconds to snap the ball on the play clock. Down to 5. They may have to burn a timeout. Nope, they'll get the snap. Francis throws. Zumpf with the catch. Close to the 40-yard line. They'll spot him at the 41.
Now you're in that in-between area where you're not going to attempt a field goal, but do you punt it down in here and give it back, or do you stay with your offense here, try and find 5 yards, and get a little momentum heading into the half?
Well, you bring in your tight end Horde. That's a possibility they could go to if they want to throw the ball.
Look for something over the center, over the middle of the field here. They've had success.
Well, that would include either Zumpf or Larson coming in on some sort of cross route. Now we got
burn a timeout.
Timeout here taken by.
Timeout, Nebraska Wesleyan.
So with
second timeout of the half.
Minute 10 to go here before halftime. Back to Able Stadium in just a moment.
Wesleyan because
it's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Here you see some of the little Prairie Wolf cheerleaders scheduled to perform here at halftime.
You switch gears, talk a little hoops at halftime.
Yeah, coming up.
It'll be here before you know it. That's the scary part.
They start practice here in about, 2 weeks? October 15th, Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball coach Dale Wellman will be entering his first year here at Wesleyan. I said, stop by and talk to him here. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from him. Find out how everything's been going in his first few months in the job. And now we got movement in the backfield, and it's going to be a false start against Wesleyan.
And both backs looked like they moved that time.
21 offense, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
That makes the decision easy. Now you send out
now
the
you punt. But Coach Wellman said he's been pleased with what he has seen with
both backs. Out of a timeout even. Got to be sure of that snap count.
That was Austin Rustcamp and Joey Jones. But Coach Wellman said that he's been pleased with he's seen so far from some guys during some pickup games. And the season going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year for them. Fair catch signal by Gentry at the 10-yard line. That's where Northwestern will take over. But it sounds like, with the loss of some key players from a year ago, this is a team that made the GPAC postseason tournament for the first time in quite a spell. But they lose guys like Trevor Johnson, who was such a key player on that basketball team a year ago.
6, 7 seniors, I think.
Yeah, 7 or 8
and they
at
all
least
contributed. So with a minute 2 here, Northwestern has only one timeout and 90 yards to go.
Maybe 9 seniors, I beg your pardon.
There were a lot of seniors.
A lot of guys
I
on that
know
team.
that. It was a senior-heavy class.
Here's a pitch. Riley gets it from Bruinsma. And Hunter Hand is over there to help make the stop, along with Kalen Vandenberg.
Now Nebraska Wesleyan does have, they only have one timeout left. They used the one before the fourth down. I was going to say with 2 timeouts, they could maybe try and at least have a return set up on a punt, but I think both teams are pretty content to go into the locker room after a scoreless first half.
30 seconds here. This could be the final play of the first half. Let's see what happens here as Bruinsma fakes it, and he's going to dive, and he's going to be stopped.
That was a busted play.
It was a broken-up play. Takes it to the 11. Hunter Hand over there to make the stop. And the clock will wind down here as, let's see if Northwestern tries to set up.
I think they're content to go to the locker room as well. Looks like they're going to walk towards their sideline. Bruinsma looking over, and the players walking off.
That wraps up the first half of today's game.
So the first half comes to a close, and we are scoreless. Nebraska Wesleyan and Northwestern, and there you see some of the key plays. A lot of defensive plays in this first half for Wesleyan. There you see Phil Latimer again. And plenty more there. There's that block kick that we saw here just a short time ago. And again, earlier in the game, a block kick. Northwestern had 2 of them. As Wesleyan heads to the locker room. And let's catch up with Corey Ross and head coach Brian Keller coming up here in just a few moments. Let's burn a timeout, come back to Able Stadium in a moment.
Oh, there they come jogging over.
What excites me is being able to build something that isn't there. We're not about following the norm, we're about creating.
New concepts, they're always in the back of my head. The burger place that everybody wants it to be.
It just went crazy, but it wasn't at a point that we knew it could fully support a new adventure.
Sebastian's Table is everything I love about food. So Union Bank willing to take on a restaurant and give us a chance. We know there's always somebody there who will back us if we want to do something new.
We don't want to slow down. We're ready to keep rolling.
Here with Coach Keller. Hey, Coach, moved the ball very well early on. Kind of been at a standstill. What adjustments need to be made on offense?
Well, main thing, we really feel like we should have a couple scores here right now, so we certainly need to address that. Obviously, we got to give our quarterback time. I think things are there in the passing game. We got to give them some time, and we got to, manufacture some sort of run game there just to keep them honest. But it's a good defensive football team. Our defense is playing lights out. Feel good where we are. But we should at least have a couple scores on the board.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how proud are you of that defense? They've been playing good, been in some tough situations, got out of it, 2 turnover on downs. How do you feel about that going to second half?
They're doing great, but we just can't keep putting them in those situations. All right, I mean, we've got to take care of things on the other side of the ball, and we got to clean up the special teams, obviously.
All right, Coach. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
All right, Corey.
Are we good?
Thank you very much, Corey. Thanks to Coach Keller for stopping by here right before he heads to the locker room. We are scoreless at Able Stadium between Northwestern and Nebraska Wesleyan. Head coach Dale Wellman of the Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball team stops by. He joins me next here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
I picked Wesleyan because
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
What excites me is being able to build something that isn't there. We're not about following the norm, we're about creating.
New concepts, they're always in the back of my head. The burger place that everybody wants it to be.
It just went crazy, but it wasn't at a point that we knew it could fully support a new adventure.
Sebastian's Table is everything I love about food. So Union Bank willing to take on a restaurant and give us a chance. We know there's always somebody there who will back us if we want to do something new.
We don't want to slow down. We're ready to keep rolling.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Welcome back to Able Stadium. I'm Jeff Moats here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network, joined here with new Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball coach Dale Wellman. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us here at Able Stadium today, and let's talk about a little bit about your career and how you got to Nebraska Wesleyan.
Sure. I just finished up 6 years at Alfred University in upstate New York. Before that, I had been an assistant at some different Division I, Division III schools, Eastern Kentucky University and Williams College, which is a Division III power up in Massachusetts. And really liked the Division III level and wanted to go that direction rather than Division I, and was fortunate enough to end up here at Nebraska Wesleyan this summer.
Your Alfred team a year ago was averaging 96.7 points a game, almost 97 a game. You ranked third in the country from that scoring. Are we expected to see some of that style of play here at Nebraska Wesleyan?
Absolutely. No, that's definitely what I wanted to bring here. I think the guys are excited about it. It was I made the switch a couple years ago to play that way and really play up-tempo and really to an extreme. You talk to a lot of people that say, hey, we play fast. Well, we think we play even faster. So I wanted to bring that. Now, we might have to tweak it a little bit depending on the strengths of the individuals on our team, but we'll definitely put a fast team out there on the court.
So what's it been like for the first few months in the job for you? How are you getting familiar with the community in general?
The first few months have been great. Everyone here, especially on campus, has been very welcoming to me. Lincoln's a great town. Everyone's very nice. People talk about the good people in the Midwest, and I think that's very evident here. As far as just getting acclimated to the area, it's just trying to go to everything, doing interviews with guys like yourself and meeting different alums. I've gone out to a lot and had a lot of different lunches and coffees with guys and just let them talk about their time at Nebraska Wesleyan and hear about it and soak it all in. It's really been very, very fun so far getting to know everyone.
From what you've seen so far, what are your impressions of the team already?
Well, to be perfectly honest, it's tough to get a good idea of what they can do in terms of talent because they lost so many guys on the team last year. They had 7 seniors, so if you watch film from last year, it's tough to really tell what we have coming back, and we have a lot of freshmen coming in. The one thing that I can say is that they're great kids. When I left Alfred, I was really going to miss the guys on the team, guys that I had recruited. I knew that they were good guys. But just this summer, before classes even started, and I met with the guys on the team, they drove in from Omaha, they drove in from Beatrice, spent some time with me, eat with me, and it relieved a little of my tension in terms of, hey, these are pretty good guys too. I'm going to really enjoy coaching them. And so far this fall, every indication is they're really working hard, and especially trying to play fast and open gym. Heard good things, just trying to get used to the style that we're going to play.
Season gets started fairly soon. It's hard to believe that October is just around the corner. When does it get officially underway, and what are we expecting this year from this Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball team?
October 15th is the first time we can roll the balls out and I can get out there and work with the guys. Our first game's November 15th. We have 1 month to prepare and get ready for it. As far as the expectations for this year, number one is just be competitive every single game. It's tough for me this time of year to really say, hey, these are going to be our expectations when I'm not even really certain who's going to be playing where. I still have to evaluate my players. But one thing I feel certain with is we're going to put a good product out on the court, guys that are going to compete hard and do what we want to. Try to prepare and scout and win every game. And then obviously part of the expectations for a college basketball team is to really recruit hard and bring in a good class. I think that's definitely part of my expectations is to bring in a strong freshman class for next year and lay just a solid foundation in terms of the new system that we're bringing into Nebraska Wesleyan.
And looking to build off what was accomplished last year, too, by the Prairie Wolves. Coach Dale Wellman, thank you for joining us, and welcome to Lincoln, and we hope things turn out well for you here in your tenure at Nebraska Wesleyan.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back to Able Stadium with more in just a moment on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Lincoln Electric System is proud to serve the Lincoln area. We can't imagine a better community to work for. So we owe it to our customers and team members to be something even better. That's why we're striving to be the world's best energy company. The kind of people who work for us are the kind of people who will get us there. Reliable people who believe in safety, integrity, and most of all, serving their neighbors. And at LES, the professionals who work here stay here. The reasons are many. You'll get the technology and training you need to succeed and advance. Benefits that allow you to take care of your family's needs and goals. You'll do important work to help create a sustainable energy future for us all. If you are starting your professional journey with LES, you will gain experience in our wide-ranging internship programs. At the end of the day, people stay here, we believe, for a very simple reason. LES is a great place to work, to build a career, and to do something that matters. It's all because we are local people serving local people.